Ladies and gentlemen, this is a very important segment. I'm reading the New York Post today. One lie that hides an enormous conspiratorial event inside the trial that exposes Clinton's plot to slander Trump. Andrew McCarthy talks about how the Durham probe special counsel can utilize legal statutes like 18 U.S. Code 371 to indict Madam Secretary Hillary Clinton. Now, years back, when there was an email probe by the Federal Bureau of Investigation that was essentially a cover-up, where they found top-secret intelligence on servers running outside of the United States government. I wrote about this endlessly in The Hill, The Huffington Post, Salon, and other publications. I have books on Amazon, or a couple that I wrote, but her top secret emails, but her deleted emails, and debunking the Trump-Russia myth. They're on Amazon right now. They're ebooks. And I explain that nobody knows how top secret and special access program intelligence, and I talked about this in The Hill, The Huffington Post, Salon, and these articles were shared hundreds of thousands of times. I talked about how we don't know how Clinton and her team managed to transfer or migrate or remove top secret intelligence from secure government locations onto servers running outside of the United States government. It's physically impossible. From a digital or cyber perspective, it is not possible to do so, but they found a way. Peter Strzok, Andrew McCabe, James Comey, all the people who were supposed to protect this country from serious harm said, well, she didn't mean to do it. They obviously lied. But back then, when I was writing in The Hill, the Huffington Post, Salon, and the writing was shared hundreds of thousands of times, there were people, YouTube pundits, who have million to 4 million sub-channels, one of which in particular, I'm not going to name the person, but he has like around 1 million subs. He disparaged me because I was, back then, before I became a supporter of President Trump, a Bernie Sanders supporter. I was the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet, according to the Huffington Post, and the unofficial scribe of Sanders' most hardcore voters, according to the Washington Post. And I was saying, look, if the FBI is apolitical, they're going to indict Madam Secretary Hillary Clinton. She will get charged. One of the many reasons my prediction about Clinton losing to Trump was accurate, 100% true, and I was vindicated, fortunately, because Trump won. Defeated Clinton. I said he would. One of the reasons I said he would is because a Comey letter that tanked her campaign was just a continuation of a cover-up. But anyway, this YouTube pundit and other people tried to disparage me. They were the vote blue no matter who crowd, pretending to be up against the system, being disingenuous and duplicitous and obviously working desperately to prop up a very corrupt system that cheated Bernie Sanders and covered up numerous crimes with Madam Secretary. Now, mind you, I want a Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump 2024. I think we need that as a country. Nobody will be happier than I will when and if Clinton, I believe she will run again eventually, becomes nominee of the Democratic Party. I'll be voting for Trump or DeSantis. Those people who tried to disparage me for telling the truth because they're basically born to worship and to be loyal and to work for the Democratic Party no matter what, those people will vote for Madam Secretary, and it'll be a beautiful sight to see. But anyway, hit subscribe to this channel. I will have a live stream in about an hour, people, so be here on this channel about 1 hour. Hit subscribe to the Stock Market Crash channel. I have a segment, very important segment up today, and I'll have a segment right before the live stream. I have a segment on the Twitter purchase that's postponed by Elon Musk. He's eventually going to buy the company, but like I said, Bitcoin crashed. I said it would crash. Cryptocurrencies are going to crash a lot more. Bitcoin's going to crash to $10,000. It's going to descend to $10,000 per coin. The market went up today. That's just, you'd have to be a fool to buy the dip. It's going to descend. The Dow's going to get way below 30,000. NASDAQ will get way below where it is now. S&P will continue to descend. Inflation will skyrocket, continue to either stay at the level it is or skyrocket. more than expected. We have contracting GDP growth. We will have a recession that's 2 consecutive quarters of GDP, negative GDP. We have a shortage of formula for mothers and babies, and it's like unbelievable. Like the entire society is collapsing, but it's all about Trump not tweeting, which eventually he will tweet, because eventually Elon Musk will purchase Twitter. But this is a fantastic article, and it talks about, according to the court filings, quote, Durham has found the Clinton campaign as the culprit. The problem is that Durham has not charged that fraudulent scheme, yet he wants to offer evidence of the sweeping scheme in order to prove a comparatively minor and narrow offense, namely that Sussman lied to the FBI in a single meeting on September 19, 2016. Then it goes on to talk about how Sussman's lie is part of a grandiose plot, people conspiring with one another to set up and frame Trump, which is exactly what I've been talking about. The center of all of this is the Clinton campaign, the DNC. Again, I want a Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump 2024. So you might say, you're all over the place. What are you talking about? You're saying that she committed crimes, but you still want her to run again? Yes, yes, and yes. We're stuck in 2016. We need to get 2016 every day. I'm like a relic. I'm like an AI. I'm like Max Hedron, okay, an AI robot from 2016, okay? We are stuck in 2016. And we need to come to terms with the fact we haven't. Everything from the Supreme Court leak to the Durham probe special counsel. Had Bernie Sanders not been cheated, even though I'm a very, very, passionate supporter of DeSantis and Trump, Donald Trump, I'm telling you, at that point, Bernie Sanders would have defeated Trump. Not the Bernie of today. Lightning in a bottle, Bernie Sanders 2016, that moment in time, which will never take place again. Because we know now they're going to cheat Bernie and the far left and funnel left-leaning votes back into the Democratic Party through AOC and Bernie Sanders. This isn't rocket science. It's a complete overt racket you can see. And the same people who will claim that, I'm against the Democratic Party, will vote Democrat again. And allow them to continue to cheat, the same people that they want to be elected one day, which will never be elected, and the same people who want to, enact Medicare for all and pass Green New Deal legislation and end the filibuster and pack the courts. These are all fantasies given to very impressionable people to dupe them on the left. And the whole thing's a racket as Madam Secretary gets away with top secret intelligence on private servers. But the Durham probe special counsel is looking at an overall statute pertaining to people conspiring. The 18 U.S. Code 371 statute I talked about. The fact that Clinton is at the center of this means that she's the one initially who broke all the laws, trying to utilize and outsource the law breaking through legal means. She broke laws essentially through legal means. Okay, kind of like Bernie Madoff did everything legally until people found out that, oh my God, it was a Ponzi scheme and everything he had done, although seemingly legal and lawful, was not only unlawful but criminal. And so initially, when Bernie Madoff, for example, had his companies, and what was he, the chairman of the NYSE or NASDAQ? I forgot. In the comment section below. Bernie Madoff, you can, correct me pertaining to that in the comment section, but Bernie Madoff was able to collect a lot of money, hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. He did so initially through legal means. Eventually, eventually his activity, although seemingly legal at first, when you looked at it in aggregate, when prices started tumbling and he couldn't pay back investors and people lost their retirement, they found out that he was engaged in one of the greatest crimes, financial crimes in history. Clinton hired Sussman. Clinton hired law firm One, Fusion GPS, Glenn Simpson, Christopher Steele. They worked with Danchenko. They worked with a whole bunch of people. Bruce and Nellie Orr and Strzok and Andrew McCabe and Comey. They were all in on it. And everyone had their little role and their little part. And seemingly everything seemed to be legal. There was no, you had left-leaning pundits. There was nothing illegal about this. It was totally above board. No, it wasn't. It wasn't for a number of reasons. If you look at each of the indictment from the Durham Probe Special Counsel, each of the indictments, the Sussman in particular, and the Danchenko trial that will be upcoming, the Sussman trial is next week. It all points to Clinton eventually being indicted. Do I think she'll be indicted? I think it's very, very possible. I used to be a lot more confident about that, but Rush Limbaugh, for example, shared one of my articles in the Federalist. I wrote like 3 or 4 articles in 2019 on the fact that these people should be charged under 18 U.S. Code 371, especially Comey and McCabe and others. And why, and I asked the question, why is everything emanating from the Clinton campaign? It's not rocket science. What took place is the following, and the New York Post and Andrew McCarthy are now talking about this. And the article will be below. Durham will have enough evidence to prove the narrow crime he's charged. The biggest challenge may be the jury in Trump hostile Washington. Basically goes on to talk about. So he's gonna convict Sussman. The interesting thing is he's building a case. Prosecutors say the Clinton campaign acted through one of the attorneys, a colleague of Sussman, the notorious Democrat who served as, the law. I don't want to list these people's names. It's in the New York Post article, but here, prosecutors say the colleague of Sussman, who served as the top counsel for campaign of the DNC, and Sussman, a former top Justice Department cybersecurity lawyer who represented the DNC when its servers were challenged, hacked by Russia. So Sussman had an important tech client. So all of these people are connected, and all of these people seemingly did things that were legal. There's one attorney in particular, and I will wait until the guy is indicted to talk about who he is, and his public record knowledge. But just for the sake of, I'll just wait until the man is indicted. He's the one who did committed a lot more, let's just say unlawful activity than even Sussman. Sussman was charged for one lie, even though he could have been charged on a number of statutes pertaining to conspiring against Trump, 18 U.S. Code 371 being one of them. Durham cannot charge. When people say, we've been waiting for so long and nobody has been arrested yet, it's like, well, 3 people have, but they can't charge Clinton or Comey or Strzok or McCabe or Clapper or Brennan or anyone right now without building a case in a court of law on smaller cases. That's what this article is talking about, okay? This is a New York Post article. It's fantastic, that brings up Clinton being in not only legal jeopardy, but potentially indicted in the future. Sussman realized, Durham contends, that if he had told Baker he was working for the Clinton campaign and Tech Executive One, the Bureau would instantly have understood the partisan political nature of the gambit. Maybe he wouldn't have gotten Baker's door, and certainly the Bureau would have to evaluate the data very differently. In essence, Sussman traded on his credentials as a former national security lawyer, just patriotically trying to protect America. And it goes on to talk about, on the other hand, to the extent Sussman directly participated in the scheme, the court is inclined to let Durham prove it. The consultations with Tech Executive One, his colleague who helped purchase the dossier in Fusion, Durham will use law firm records to show Sussman built his time to the Clinton campaign, including when he visited the Bureau and claimed he wasn't there on a client's behalf. And so, one lie that hides an enormous plot of many individuals to conspire against Trump inside the trial that exposes Clinton's plot to slander Trump. It's not legal. She could very easily face indictment years from now, or a year from now, or next month. Well, no, probably a year from now. Once Durham has to convict Sussman, Danchenko, other people, very likely the colleague that he worked with who purchased the Steele dossier on behalf of Clinton. Once all of these people, probably 3, 4, 5 lower level people get indicted, then you will have the basis for 18 U.S. Code 371 on Comey, McCabe, and Madam Secretary. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. You can't get away with a blatant crime. The reason people are getting away with it now is because every judge, the media, like the courts, have to be slowly fed the obvious information and the logic and the evidence showing that these people conspired to defraud and deceive the government and media. You have tens of millions of Americans who still truly believe Trump was installed by the Kremlin. This was a grandiose hoax. It's going to take a little while, especially it'll take investigations in conjunction with the Durham probe special counsel in the House and the Senate. Give me your thoughts below when the House and the Senate becomes Trump Republican in November. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. Clinton can be indicted in the future. There's no doubt about that. The New York Post is talking about that. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe. I'll be back in about an hour with a live stream. Be here for the live stream. Thank you.